What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to this Anfield Agenda news roundup. What I thought I'd do tonight is try to catch everybody who's coming in after watching I'm a Celebrity and doesn't want to go through and sift through a 90-minute stream for the news update. So I'm going to bring it to you over the next 8 to 10 minutes. As always, asking you guys to let us know your feedback in the comment section. Drop a like on the video if you enjoy it. And of course, I would love you to hit that subscribe button. Now, rather than play an ad or anything, what I'm going to ask you for are two little favours. Tomorrow at 6 p.m, so Monday at 6 p.m, myself and Mr. Lee Gunner are going to be starting with our first live stream from the Red Mist podcast. If you haven't subscribed to that channel, please search the Red Mist podcast on YouTube and drop us a sub on there. We're going to be talking about Manchester City and the Pep Guardiola contract extension of 1 year, which has been rumoured. We're going to be speaking about Ruben Amorim and is he really going to change things at Manchester United. We're also going to be speaking about the situation with the PGMOL, and we're going to be asking, are Chelsea really back as title contenders? That and lots more coming up tomorrow on that. On top of that, I'd ask you guys to go and subscribe to the Anfield Agenda Clips channel if you'd be so kind. It's just hit 35,000 subscribers and we'd love to try and eventually one day get that to 100k to get the silver play button. So if you can, those two things. Now, let's get straight into the news. So, the first thing today is Troy Deeney once again showing himself up to be very foolish with a take that I think you'll all agree with me is, well, again, foolish. So, Troy Deeney doesn't believe that Mohamed Salah is world class. And I don't think that that's his real belief. Because I refuse to believe that a man who's played football at the top level looks at Mo Salah and doesn't see a world class player. He said his argument has always been that I just don't think he's world class. But world class is just a different opinion. What I think of a world class would be what I want my kids to grow up and play like that player. That's what I think is world class. He goes on to say, if I was asking my kids who want to be forwards, I'd be saying I want them to look at what Vinicius Jr. does as opposed to Mohamed Salah. Now, what I would say here to Troy is, one, there isn't anything that Vinicius Jr. can do that Mohamed Salah can't do or didn't do at that age or couldn't do. He could go past players in the wing, he could leave them for dead, and also I don't think Vinicius Jr. is going to keep up the level of scoring and assisting that Mohamed Salah has. So by any metric that Troy Deeney wants to look at, not admitting that Mohamed Salah is world class is just looking for attention. And look, maybe he's getting it, but it's foolish. We all know he's world class. I think Troy Deeney knows he's world class. And I think he needs to start being called out more for these stupid opinions rather than him getting all these cushy gigs on Match of the Day to spout the nonsense. He needs to be told, we know you're full of it. There's not a chance you don't think he's world class. Next up, a report from the Mail who said Liverpool have reportedly set their sights on Ryan Cherki as a possible replacement for Mohamed Salah, with the French club seeking to raise funds to address their dire financial situation. So it seems as if Lyon are in a lot of trouble and may be relegated from the top division in France because of these financial concerns. Now look, if we are to replace Mohamed Salah, and look, I hope we're not, but if we're to look at any forward for any reason, I don't think we should be looking at Ryan Cherki. I think it's absolutely Omar Marmoush. So I would say I'm not fully convinced by this one. I think maybe this again could be Lyon looking to raise interest in some of their players to fix their financial problems. But if we're looking for a forward, I feel very likely it would be Omar Marmoush. Next up, a report from Hun Football Extra, which is a Hungarian football outlet. They say that M4 Sport, which is a broadcaster, I believe, over in Hungary, that Liverpool's interest in Milos Kerkez of Bournemouth is true. They go on to say that Liverpool have asked for permission from Bournemouth to enter preliminary talks with the player. On top of that, another gentleman called Ben Boshak, and again, excuse my pronunciation there if it's wrong, he goes on to tweet, one of Hungary's most reliable networks, M4 Sport, have now confirmed Anfield Watch's exclusive that Liverpool are entering preliminary talks with Milos Kerkez. Very interesting and would be a great move if Liverpool can pull it off. Now, there are other clubs interested as well, so I'd love to know your thoughts on this one, folks. If this is true and Liverpool have already spoken to Bournemouth to ask for permission to speak with them, well, then it must be something that Liverpool are sincerely weighing up. So, thoughts on Kerkez, welcome in the comments section. Now, Mark Ogden, who I would say is a fine journalist, works for ESPN, he has said a renewed move for Martin Zubimendi by Liverpool in January cannot be ruled out, with Arne Slot remaining a big admirer of the midfielder. So what I'd have to say here is, again, there's also interest from Manchester City and Arsenal, but if he shows any indication that he is going to leave La Liga, we've got to make it sure it's Liverpool. We've got to make sure that if he is, again, toying around with the idea of leaving, well, I'm going to roll back on that a little bit. He has to be more than toying around. He has to feel like he absolutely wants to leave Sociedad, and if he comes to that conclusion, then we've got to make sure it's Liverpool that he comes to. So over to you, Mr. Edwards and Mr. Hughes. Right, WhoScored.com and many others have posted a statistic that I didn't actually believe could be true at first, but as I've said, many outlets have posted it, so over to you to see what you think. But the stat is teams with the best win percentage when officiated by David Koo for 5 or more games. Fifth on the list were Bolton Wanderers with a win percentage of 60%. Next, Leicester City, 61.3%. Manchester United in third place with 62.5%. Then comes Liverpool, 66.7%. And at the top of the list, Manchester City with an incredible win percentage rate, according to WhoScored.com and many others, of 100% with David Koo officiating. Now, that's a very happy coincidence, isn't it? And that's all I'm going to say on that, because, you know, not for me to say if there's shenanigans or anything, but it's an interesting one. So, last thing before I let you guys go. Orkun Koku, who of course worked with Arne Slot at Feyenoord, spoke very highly once again about his former manager. He said, "He made me the player that I am today." But not just that. He finishes up by saying, he is the best coach in the world. And I love hearing that. I could go on and speak to you more about what Arne Slot said about his training methods and Trent as well, but go and have a read of those yourself if you get the chance. I love where we are right now as a football club, my friends. I love the direction we're heading in. So if we can make sure we nail down these 3 contracts, and I don't know what happens with them still, I don't, but I also don't know how we're still here. So Trent, Virgil and Mo, we got to box them off. Then we got to go into the January market and grab the league by the scruff of the neck, bring in the midfielder, and then go and win that league title. We've got Manchester City coming up on the 1st of December. That is a game that if Liverpool beat Southampton and City won, we went and beat them. 8 points over City, 9 points over Arsenal, and we will have played both of them once. So I'm going to say, if we keep winning and win that Manchester City game, I feel very, very confident at 8 points clear of them that we will go and win the Premier League. That's my thoughts on it anyway, but maybe you think I'm a bit deluded on it. So that is pretty much it for me. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section about everything I've spoken about. We do appreciate your feedback. Drop a like on the video, hit that subscribe button of course, check out the Red Mist podcast and our Clips channel. And I will see you guys tomorrow at 8:45, if of course I don't see you on the Red Mist with Mr. Lee Gunner at 6 o'clock. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you've all had a lovely weekend, and I will catch up with you tomorrow. Much love. Bye bye.